Hello, everyone. This is Cherie from Divine Light Codes. I'm bringing you a new show today called the Divine Lunch Hour. I'm your host, and I'm also your host of the Ascension Sessions. And I wanted to bring you guys this new format. It's a shorter format. It's during the daytime. So hopefully you can bring your lunch along and just hang out with us. We're going to do these quicker shows, hopefully to get more content out to you on a regular basis. So thank you so much for everyone who's been following, all the fans who've been with me since the beginning. I really appreciate you guys so much. Hello, Dragon Rose. It's great to see you. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We have a great guest today, so we're going to get right into it. And I just want to say also, if you're a fan of the Ascension Sessions, you'll love the content on the Divine Lunch Hour as well, because we're going to be talking about spirituality, metaphysics, consciousness, awakening, ascension, all of the same topics, but in a more condensed, bite-sized amount of content. So it's awesome that you're here. So today's guest, you guys, is Neil Gaur with the Portal to Ascension brand. He's a documentarian, he's a poet, he's a rapper, he's an event producer. And I like to call him a conscious community yenta because he brings everyone together. So I'm going to bring him on camera and read to you his bio as we get started. Hi, Neil. Welcome to the show. He's getting set up.
Hey, Terry. It's really good to be here with you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for being here. So for everyone who's new to Neil, I'll just tell you a little bit about his background so we don't have to, go into all of his details too much today with this shorter format. But Neil Gaur is the founder of Portal to Ascension, a conscious event production company that he created in 2008. It hosts a wide range of presenters on a variety of topics, such as the origins of humanity, the existence of extraterrestrial life, exposing hidden truths, and exploring the nature of reality. He travels the world facilitating gatherings and filming documentaries that are intended to empower the individual to reclaim their sovereignty and to awaken to their full potential. Neil also operates an online platform that creates and facilitates about 110 conferences and workshops a year. And at this point, Portal to Ascension has worked with over 3,000 presenters, researchers, spiritualists, scientists, consciousness explorers, lightworkers, and more. Neil is a philosopher, historian, researcher, and a spoken word artist. He presents his research on the ancient wisdom and future science of sound, vibration, and frequency, as well as an in-depth explorations into ancient civilizations, archeological discoveries, space anomalies, shedding light on hidden esoteric wisdom, and exploring ways in which we can all create unity and peace on Earth. Wow, that's a lot, Neil. I think you do as many things as I do. That's insane.
Yep. It's
so beautiful.
It's multi-dimensional tasking.
Right, absolutely. I like that term. I'm going to have to start using that.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, you've got so much going on, and I know you have a huge conference coming up that you're also planning and preparing for. And in light of all this multidimensional tasking that you're doing, you actually took the time to take a week out of your life and just go be in the forest alone for a week. And probably, I assume you didn't touch a computer or any technology that week. But first of all, I'd love for you to get into that story. That's what that's the gist of what we're going to talk about today. But I was wondering, I know you started your spiritual journey a long time ago, but can you tell the viewers a little bit about why you got on this spiritual path and why you started this, what moved you to go on this spiritual journey?
Well, ever since I was a child, I have fleeting memories of just like thinking things weren't the way they should be. So on one level, I've started to realize now that it was with me my whole life, and there was all these things that not until I had the language to explain what I'm learning, what's going on the planet, what's happening with the ascension, did I did it took me a while until then to realize that all these experiences in my childhood and my thoughts about death and were actually just like self-fulfilling prophecy, if you will, just like different things that led to the fact that it was leading me to an awakening moment, right? So
Mm-hmm.
when I was a child, I was also raised Hindu, right? I was raised in a Hindu family. So, as you probably already know, a lot of things that we do within the conscious community is connected to ancient Hindu scripture and text, Vedic awareness, and everything. So, there was this
Mm-hmm.
foundation. And within my religion, like my own religion upbringing, I was never told that Hinduism was the only way, right? Like a lot of people in different religions are told this is the only way, creating fear from the other. And since I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't told that, I had a lot of room to do some exploration. And my parents were open to it too. We celebrated Christmas. We talked about Jesus. So I had this awareness for all different types of spiritual traditions around the world, and I started all of a sudden seeing that there were all these similarities and even almost the exact same stories in these scriptures. But why is it that we're all talking about what makes us different and the fact that my religion is the only way, my God's the best God, when we can just show that these stories are the same exact stories, but a religion that you would completely consider different, like Hinduism and Christianity, having the connection to
Mm-hmm.
Krishna. And so these things started coming to my awareness, and I went down the exploration to see if there was a root. If I'm seeing these stories that are so connected and so similar, is there a root to all these stories? And I called it the root of all religion. What is the root to all religion? And by looking for that origin story, are we able to find out that we all actually came from one consciousness, one spiritual tradition, and then it
Mm-hmm.
fragmented off? So that was kind of where I was at age 17, 18 when I went to college. And at the same time, when I was there, I was meeting all types of people from around the world. I was listening to various forms of music that was expanding my consciousness. And so that was kind of the soup there, but it was with me my whole life. It was definitely something that I feel I incarnated here specifically to do.
Beautiful. And did Hinduism resonate with you as a young adult or a child? Like, did it, like, did it sink into your heart and did it feel like, your truth, I guess you could say?
No, you really, when I was being raised, I kind of looked at Hinduism as just like something that I did because my parents did, right? Rather than
Mm-hmm.
being dedicated to it. And later in life, I started noticing that a lot of people like my age and younger, maybe a little older than me too, that were Hindu and living out of India, actually were just basically following the rites and rituals. It was like a social club for us, a place to
Right.
hang out, connect, community. But I never
Mm-hmm.
really thought about why I was doing all this. Like, well, we're doing all these spiritual songs and these rituals, because I would go to a lot of temple ceremonies, and we would
Mm-hmm.
have facilitated at a house. My grandfather used to have a Hindu ceremony. It's called a havan, where you go around the fire, and then you put different offerings in the fire. It's like the standard at home Indian tradition. He'd have one like 2 to 3 times a month, and I was there and I was singing. I was doing Indian bhajans, right? No idea what I
Mm-hmm.
was saying, just completely on autopilot from cultural upbringing. And
Right.
so it wasn't resonating with me. And then I became kind of what I jokingly said, an atheist Hindu, right? Because I really didn't care what was going on, where we're from. I was interested in the universe and space, but I wasn't really into like any of this spiritual stuff. And I started thinking that Jesus could actually be a lie as well. So this was like 2017, 18. Started contemplating that this is all, religion in general is a farce. And then when
Mm-hmm.
I found the Sumerian scriptures, and I started realizing many ancient cultures took stories of beings from other planets from there and changed, instead of saying star beings or beings from another planet or beings from this planet, it would change it with the word God. So that made me realize that, well, either all religion and everything is BS because it's based on some ancient sci-fi, right? Or maybe I can look at the ancient scriptures that are talking about these beings because it's more plausible that there are beings from other planets. And as I
Mm-hmm.
started looking into that, I realized they were talking about meditation in these ancient scriptures, not from India, but other places, Sumer, Babylon, China, talking about
Mhm.
meditation, talking about vibration, and talking about how consciousness and experiences of consciousness are at different vibratory states. So then when I looked at that, that's what brought me back to Hinduism, 2001, 2002, 1920. And I started looking at the religion I was brought up with and realized, wait a second, this is one of the only mainstream religions left on the planet that are still actually have the truth hidden in plain sight right there in the text.
Yeah. Wow.
Mhm.
That's amazing. Yeah, in 2001, I went to the Mahakumbh Mela in Allahabad, India,
Nice.
and
Yeah.
I actually spent 4 months traveling around India, Nepal, Sri
Mm,
Lanka, and so I saw all the rituals. There's a ton of rituals in those religions there because,
yeah.
it's all about the pujas and the ceremony and honoring the deities. And so I could see how a younger Neil would be, kind of on autopilot
Mhm.
as a
Yeah.
kid, throwing the flowers and stuff
I was
like that.
anti, like when I woke up to a lot of this stuff, I was so against rituals. Like, and only
Yeah.
now, like, I was so against rituals that I couldn't even come up with a morning routine for myself and stick to it.
Oh, wow.
Because I was like, why do
Because
we
you're
have
like,
to?
I'm going the
Yeah.
opposite.
Now I'm seeing, like, for my own mental health, if like having some sort of morning routine that really like helps inspire me. But that's what I'm saying. Like,
Mhm.
I was so anti-ritual, I completely threw all types of ritual out of my life.
Right. Well,
Hmm.
maybe do you think that you might come around full circle again and see the value in some rituals? Because I do believe like
Yeah.
there are some rituals that are important, even if it's a simple thing like protect your energy field before you go out
Yeah.
into the world, or say a prayer before you go to sleep, or eat your food, or whatever. Are you okay with small little things like that?
Yeah, and I'm ritual. I'm saying like routine things that need to be done in order to get this experience. Because
Right.
ultimately, part of my consciousness here on this planet now is the next dimensional consciousness of being there already. And
Hmm.
basically we do rituals in order to not only convince ourselves there's something etherically happening, of course, but we're so powerful that when we believe something fully, we can actually manifest it. So I think a lot of rituals are basically our own self spells in order to get our manifestation powers unlocked, like working.
Yeah,
So what would
that's a
happen?
really interesting perspective.
What would happen
Hmm.
is as we ascend, we get to a place where we're at that level and we don't need ritual. Just to add to ritual really quick, like looking at the ancient, looking at the 26,000 year cycle of consciousness, the evolution, the devolution, looking at the
Hmm.
yuga cycles and the ages, the four ages, in English, golden, bronze, silver, dark ages. When you look at that scale and you go to India and you see the actual dates in the calendars and what kind of experiences were in different areas, you see that there were times that there were no rituals and in the higher ages. But what happened was as we devolved, right? And Hinduism is one of the few religions left on the planet that are still in use that has existed for multiple ages, right? Whereas Christianity started only in this age, Pisces, the beginning of Judaism, a couple ages before that. So
Hmm.
what happened was, as they were devolving, they came up with practices in order to basically continue having the same experiences, but needing to do action. Because what happens when you go into these lower frequencies is thought equals manifestation gets further apart and it becomes thought equals action, action equals manifestation. And then the action is a part of our ritualistic nature, right? Like we need to do something in order to create it. But when we get to those ages, it's almost immediate. So I think
Hmm.
ritual, I don't judge ritual. I think ritual is needed because we're at a lower state of consciousness. And as
Right.
we evolve higher and higher, and the norm is a higher state of consciousness, some people will still do rituals, but those are the ones who want to reach the next level. And this has been
Right.
prophesied too that in these higher ages, there's going to be those that are comfortable with where they're at. And there's going to be those being like, well, I'm dedicating my life to the next evolution, kind of
Hmm.
like, hmm
Right. Wow, that's a beautiful way to wrap it up. Thank you for sharing that.
yeah,
So let's talk about your trip. I mean, you could say, it's like a sabbatical or, a journey. I know that in the shaman cultures, a lot of times they will go out into the woods and kind of spend time alone as they ascend to their next evolution within their tribe.
Mhm.
What led you to want to go and be alone in the woods for a week? And can you paint a picture for us? Like, how rustic was the place? Did you have Wi-Fi? Were you
Yeah.
completely alone?
Yeah, so first I'll let everybody know where it was. So it was in the Oaxacan forest. Basically, I
Hmm.
flew into Oaxaca City. I had to take a collectivo, which is like the small shuttle buses, 3.5 hours into the forest, and then I arrived at a small forest town. Had maybe 300 people living there, and then from there I took a moto taxi into the forest even deeper to a town with like 100 people. Right from that area, there was a one more taxi that went down the hill into like the actual trees, and so we're in 20 minutes into the forest again. And this area was land owned by this lady, and she rents out one of the cabins on the land for isolation retreats and meditation retreats. 1 week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, right? And there was a couple cabins on the other side, but they're too far for me to reach. And it was just pretty much like deep forest, like trees everywhere. There was this one
Hmm.
opening area that I was in that had like I had a separate area for shower. I had my place. I had a bonfire place outside, and then right next to me was just like multiple streams, multiple creeks,
Wow.
um, all types of hiking trails. And I didn't meet anybody on the trails because it was so like remote. And so I basically had an opportunity to like explore all over the forest, spend a lot of time. A couple times I got lost in the forest, which was pretty cool, and then finding my way back to the path. One time I almost hyperventilated though because I was like, I so for 4 days I decided when I got there, like, hey, I'm in the forest. I don't need my glasses. All right, I could see good enough, so I took my glasses off for 4 days. Right, and the reset I had on my eyes were amazing. But when I got lost that one time, I couldn't make out the paths.
Oh, wow.
It took me like 20 minutes. So I started hyperventilating. I had to breathe through it.
Hmm.
And then I finally found the path. But the interesting part, not to keep, I'm going to go off on tangents here. But the
That's
interesting part was
fine.
I was like an hour and a half walking into the forest. And then I went into this one area that was just pine needles as far as I can see. Like it was like all green everywhere, forest, all types of trees, and then just boom, this huge area with just pine trees and just like the dead pine trees all over. And I walked into it, and it was just like a graveyard of trees. It felt like, and I started getting into my head in that moment and really reflecting on certain things, the insecurities I've been working through, the traumas that I've had in life, and I felt that I got. This was like on day 3 or 4, which was the hardest days. And I felt like kind of a lot of this energy coming back to the surface. So I was lost in my head, right? And then as I look up, I'm lost in the forest.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, okay. And I had to giggle to myself. I'm like, whoa, what a metaphor for life this is. Like I literally got
Hmm.
lost in my head. I couldn't focus on this trail, and then I ended up losing my way. And now I'm trying to figure out how to get back home. You know, which
Yeah.
was like interesting because figuring out how to get back home to myself is really the reason why I do this work. Where is home?
Hmm.
Home is myself, is my own sacred container. So to go back to the beginning of the story, the reason why, so that's kind of the imagery of where I was.
Hmm.
The reason why I chose it is because I've done isolation things a few times in the past, but every other time it was at Vipassana, the silent meditation retreat, 10-day silent meditation. Women and men are separated. No one talks to each other. Um, Meditating 6 7 hours a day, and I've done that like 6 times for 10 days, and
Hmm.
I've had the most benefit from my life has come from that more than even psychedelics or plant medicines. And since it had been such a benefit for me, it really helps me focus on my energy, reflect on myself. It makes me feel more confident. The less you communicate the in those situations, the controlled environment, the more power you have over your own voice when you leave.
Hmm.
The more you
Hmm.
don't deal with BS, you cut through that stuff, right? And I've had those
Hmm.
experiences, and now that I'm like really doing a lot more inner work and healing, I've now realized that instead of doing them spontaneously, I need to do them routinely because these are the things that really keep me in check and don't allow my traumas from my childhood to resurface, because I had a lot of traumas and I've been on a journey since I started doing this, attempting to heal from them. So I was like, well,
Hmm.
what really works for me? what really helps me stay in mission, excited every day when I wake up doing this work, excited and passionate to do what I'm doing without falling short or getting burnt out, is taking the time for myself to disconnect from everything so that I could really have that peace rather than being on that rat race mentality of producing, 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 creating, creating. Especially
Hmm.
because one of my childhood traumas was you're never good enough. So as soon as I became old enough to do something, I I keep going 100% million miles per hour because I always feel like I'm not good enough, so I can never satisfy myself, right? And
Hmm.
so being in the forest was a different experience because I realized like I don't want to this time be in a controlled situation where I have to meditate, have to wake up at 5 a.m. I just want to be in nature, fully immersed on my own schedule with no one around. And so I scheduled this like a year ago. I pushed it back a couple of times. But what I do is anytime there's a large scale event that I'm doing, I'll go in isolation beforehand
Hmm.
because I wanted to be able to hold space for what we're creating. Like this conference coming up in a week from now is the first of nonstop, not only our online university, but nonstop productions. We got like 5 retreats happening. We're going to Egypt. We got a dolphins retreat. We got a Starseed Music Festival, Crystal Skulls conference. From now, April, all the way until February of next year, it's just nonstop. So I wanted to spend some time disconnecting from all internet service, signal, and everything, so that I could energetically get to a place of inner peace with myself to be able
Hmm.
to hold space for it and work on my a sense of non-reaction. So I did maybe 4 to 5 hours of breath work a day. I would sit on the rocks in the middle of streams for hours, and just really sit with the presence of um, of getting to a place of non-reaction and emotional triggers, so that I could be who I need to be for all the people I'm going to be working with over this next year.
Hmm.
I can't let resentments come up. I can't have be out of integrity. So these are all some of the reasons that I went down there.
You said something that stood out in my mind, and you said, you went on this inner journey, this meditation to kind of prevent your traumas from resurfacing. Do you think that inner child trauma ever goes away fully? And is it a bad thing to when it does resurface? Like, you know what I mean? So I guess the question is like, if we don't allow them to surface and evolve and grow and air out, like go away, heal from them, then they're always there. So I
Mhm.
guess the question is, did you feel a sense of like resolution and peace with those inner child traumas?
Mhm.
Or was it kind of like, I see you over there, I recognize you, but I'm putting you away for right now?
Yeah, no, no, definitely not putting it away. I've been, feeling is the way to heal. Feeling is healing is for sure the truth. And
Hmm.
part of being there is getting to a place of being able to observe it. For example, like on day 3 and 4, day 1 and 2, I was like, whoa, I'm in the most beautiful place ever. This is so epic. Wow, I could do this forever. Day 3 and 4, insecurities, fear of self-worth issues, in um, judgment, self-loathing, not being able to sit with myself, being bored, and not being okay with being bored, needing stimuli. All
Hmm.
these things came from my childhood experiences, right? So
Hmm.
what I did by being there was I had to sit and listen and allow myself to feel everything, right? And
Right.
as they feel, they come to the surface. But the question is, do you react to it, or are you the observer of it, right?
Hmm.
Because so some things I think you can get to a place of peace and healing so substantially that it's not affecting you in a negative way, right? But then also healing is an ongoing experience. It's like a fractal rather than a destination. And
Hmm.
part of this experience on Earth is going through it and feeling it, and then getting to a place with peace within yourself. So the real piece, that the real traumas that I'm working on are my confidence levels, right? And being okay in my own body enough to, when these experiences come up, they don't derail me. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's more, yeah, it's about becoming at peace with yourself to not allow things that come up to push you out or send you into a spiral of depression, because I used to be
Hmm.
like so depressed. I used to have so much anxiety that I couldn't leave at home a couple times, like, younger days. These are the things that I'm working on having peace with, because how am I going to continue growing the business at the level it is? How am I going to do so many events and work with so many people and want to continue to grow if these things can
Mhm.
stop me from having the relationships I need to create that, So
Right. Yeah.
it was all of that. But I definitely feel you got to heal. You got to feel everything. If you suppress it, it's just going to come back in a more negative way. And then eventually it
Right.
can come back as an actual physical illness.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being vulnerable on this show. I just want to honor you and honor that vulnerability because, we never know how people perceive us, and at the end of the day, we're all human. And even though you've got this huge event production, that you've created, like you're still a person and you still have to deal with your own human emotions and be vulnerable. And I just want to say thank you for sharing that publicly because not everybody can do that. So that's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, your experience in the woods sounds like it was very healing and very positive and very advantageous for you to be able to come out and hold space for so many people, because I totally understand what you're saying when you say you have to hold space for all these people that you're going to be
Mhm.
associating with, helping, because you're helping a lot of people, Neil, with these events and these conferences that you're doing. You're helping the attendees who come there to learn and grow and evolve. And you're also helping the speakers who come there to share their wisdom with others, so that's why I call you like the cosmic yenta, because you're bringing so many people together, in all these different spaces and ways. And you do kind of have to hold space for all of them. So that's a lot to contain. And
Yeah.
again, it's amazing that you're doing that.
Yeah, then you
Um,
also have the team that you work with, and it's really important for good communication with the team members because
right.
you guys are creating it together. So we're expanding now, so we're getting more people that are coming on to the team. So creating some sort of cohesion. And I don't want to like snap at people, react in different ways because I've been like that in the past. I'm so emotionally connected to my business, to Portal to Ascension, because it's an extension of me that
Mm-hmm.
it's been challenging at times when things don't go the right way, and I've
Right.
responded in ways that I wouldn't want to by default, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's just like, yeah, doing that work, and then also hopefully, like as we continue to grow, we can have like annual retreats for our staff members, and we can start doing this work together. The real thing with Portal to Ascension is that I feel like we're embodying next level intentionality. That not only are our conferences like now I don't look at it as a conference anymore. I look at it as a 3-day ceremony that we're all getting activated within.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Right.
important to create that cohesion because we're doing this for the same reasons, and we need to really you know do the inner work so that we can continue being the embodiment of the reason we even do this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And so I do want to get into the conference in a bit, but I wanted to also ask you, was it 5 days or 7 days or 10 days, the retreat in the
Oh,
woods?
it was 5 days, and it was like
Five
6 days
days.
altogether with coming out. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So how did it end for you? You told me that the middle was kind of difficult, days 3 and 4, but how did you feel at the
Yeah.
end of it?
So I started getting all these downloads on like what to do for Portal to Ascension. I got downloads on what was in my life that I've actually come to peace with, what kind of healing I've brought to certain things in my past. And I realized that a lot of things that I didn't think I actually had, and that what I thought certain things in my life were coming from were actually different. So those downloads started coming was the first ones, and I broke it down into 3 different things, journaled about it, and then things started coming for the business. What is going to be the next step, how we're going to evolve, and then also even my email list. Like I had a whole series of emails come to me on what to share with the community because my new website actually, just a little side note, just launched yesterday, and we've been working on it for 2 years with this current team, but 3 years altogether of hardcore coding and dedication. And I already knew that after I come out of the forest was going to be the day for my um, website to be launched. So I was kind of just going into a full integration mode, getting ready to birth a new thing. And the new website, it's not just a website, it's like the largest consciousness event like production thing on the internet. Tens of thousands of hours of content, um, thousands of events that we've done for like 7 8 years, so
Mm-hmm.
so emotionally connected to this whole thing that I was started getting receiving like basically downloads on what I'm going to be doing next with Portal to Ascension and what we're able to do now that this new website is launching. Yeah.
Wow. And is that portal to ascensionconference.com
No,
or portal to
portaltoascension.org.
ascension? Oh, okay. Because
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
funny you mentioned that because I went to two different sites of yours and one of
Yeah.
them was down a couple days ago.
Yeah, we're
So
launching the new site.
yeah, so you were
Yeah,
probably launching the new site
yeah,
when
right
I
there.
went to
Ascensionconference.com is the website for the current event.
okay,
The
Ascension
conference
Session.
we're talking about.
Ascension.
Ascensionconference.com.
Okay, and this is your main website, right? Portal to
That's okay. So
ascension.com.
portaltoascension.org and then
Okay.
ascensionconference.com. But
Okay, so let me fix that on here.
portaltoascension.com will eventually redirect to .org, but we're doing some things on
Yeah.
that right now.
Okay. And is this the new one that you just launched? Portal to ascension.org?
Yep, it was the old website. Now we have the new one on there. Yes,
Okay,
we've
great.
updated that site.
I'll have to go and check that out.
Yeah, and then
Okay,
we're
and
doing some tweaks on it. We're doing some tweaks on it because we just launched. In a couple days, it'll be fully functional.
okay. And portal to ascensionconference.com is the other one.
Ascensionconference.com.
Oh, Ascension Conference. Okay, thank you for clarifying. I'll
Mm-hmm.
put that one up as well so everyone can go check that out.
Yeah, we're literally Joan and I are literally 3 minutes from the venue right now. We're in the hotel room off the hotel that everybody's gonna be staying at.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
yeah, so we're not staying here, but where everybody else is staying, there's like gonna be a lot of people
Checking
here.
it out.
So
Yeah,
yeah, so it's pretty awesome that we're broadcasting from the actual places.
that is cool.
Yeah, that
So
is it right there.
tell us about the conference and like what are the highlights? What are the like do not miss these events that you feel are going to be part of it?
Yes. Okay, so ascensionconference.com again, guys, and it starts on Friday the 21st, which is like a week from today, and it goes
Mhm.
till the 23rd. We do have post-conference workshops on April 24th. The theme for this event is Humanity Awakens. It's not about humanity awakening, it's about humanity awakens. It's already happened. We are here now. The awakening energy is prevalent on the planet. We just all need to tap into that frequency. So this event is a celebration because it's been almost 3 years since we did our Portal Extension Conference. It was in Irvine before, and now we moved down here. And it's huge because in the 3 years since we did an in-person event, right? We've done hundreds and hundreds of online ones. Um, in those 3 years, the PTA Portal to Ascension, we have evolved exponentially and brought on a full team. We really taken our production and professionalism to the next level. So we get to experience that at a live event now and create something for you that we put a lot of love and attention in. And it's the beginning of not us just doing this maybe two major conferences a year in person like we were before. This year we're doing around 4 conferences. We're doing like 5 retreats within the next 12 months. So it's really the beginning of a constant presence of in-person live retreats, tours to ancient sites like Egypt will be every year. Malta is going to be next year, and conferences. So come celebrate with us. All right. So who we have to let me just say a few.
Malta is amazing.
I know. We're gonna do Malta and Greece in 2024.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
exciting.
So, okay, we have Linda Moulton Howe, who is a world-renowned ufologist, journalist, and she comes out with a lot of great insights and deep dives into the UFO question and the presence of extraterrestrials. She also gets firsthand testimony from a lot of whistleblowers. So she'll be coming there
Mhm.
giving us updates. So I'm excited for her to be there. Just a few others. Feel free to, if you want to talk about any of these people, we can pause. We have JJ Desiree Hurtak. Are you familiar with? You're probably familiar with their work, right?
Yeah, the Hertex. Yes.
Mm-hmm. They created. JJ created a book called The Keys of Enoch. So he'll be there,
Mhm.
and we'll be actually going to Egypt with them on September 6th. Still 20 slots available for that at Egypt Ascension Retreat. So they'll be there providing their beautiful insight. Robert Schoch, who I love so much, he's the guy that actually was the geologist that redated the Sphinx to around 13,000 years ago, around 11,900 BC, which is 7,000 years older than we've been told it is. So he's coming with some good information on
Wow.
something Tepe the first time, like ancient Egyptian scrolls about the first time and the structures that were existed back then.
Oh, wow. Do you want to share your screen? Or are you good?
Yeah, let me do that. That's the better thing to do.
Okay. Here, I'll switch it to this. Whoops.
Share screen.
Do you have the ability? Is it in there?
Yeah, do you see my computer, my screen?
No, not yet.
Oh, here we go. I see it now. Okay. Share this. There we go. Okay, should see it.
Okay, now I see it.
So there are the ones, Linda, JJ, Robert. And they'll all be on an Ancient Civilizations panel. So we have a panel on Friday night called the Ascension panel, right? That was the New Earth / Ascension panel with Deborah Giusti. We have the Ancient Civilizations panel, Linda, Hertax, Robert, myself. Robert Edward Grant will also be on it. Robert Edward Grant, he's been doing this research for a while, but he's really just become pretty well known recently for going viral with his discoveries. I would say the best way to describe him is quantum physics mathematician meets ancient civilizations and ancient structures, and how that connects to geometry and space and the fabric of space-time. It's pretty much like everything I'm into: quantum physics, spirituality, and ancient history all combined in one.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Awesome topics.
Yeah. And Caroline Corey, she's a beautiful documentarian that has created some really next level documentaries in regards to understanding that we are all supernatural beings. And her documentary, second one, was Supernatural, showing the science behind our extrasensory abilities. Her last documentary has William Shatner in there and Michio Kaku in there, and all the people, a lot of the Navy pilots from the Nimitz UFO Navy sighting that happened in 2008. She basically took them all and they mimicked the situation of some of these sightings, and lo and behold, UFOs came through. And she even filmed a portal using her camera equipment, the state-of-the-art camera equipment on Catalina Island, where they saw a wormhole being opened in space and a UFO going through it. It's in her documentary.
Wow. Wow. That's awesome. And it's called Supernatural?
No, Supernatural is the second documentary. The last one, a tear in the sky, a tear. Like that's
a tear in the sky.
The wormhole. Ismael Perez will be there. He's a galactic historian.
There's a lot of USOs reported right around Catalina Island, right? A lot of underwater UFOs.
Yeah. And you know, Catalina Island, before it was a tourist destination, was actually a CIA military testing ground. Like they would do their what is it called? They would do the drills over there.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, the energy of the island is a little strange when you go there. I don't know if you've ever been there.
Yeah. Okay. And then we have Adam Apollo, who is also, he talks about a lot of stuff actually. So I'm not sure exactly what he's going to speak about there, but he is through astral travel, remote viewing, he has visited through astral travel mainly many different ancient civilizations, and actually has got a lot of their not ancient civilizations, galactic civilizations, and he has received a lot of information on the technology that different ET races have from their home planets. And we actually did a galactic technology webinar with him, like a 3-hour webinar a few years ago. And it was literally like, ET race, this is the technology, this is what it looks like, you know. So he's, he connects technology very well to the galactic awareness.
That's awesome.
Michael Cremo, he wrote the book called Forbidden Archaeology, Evidence of Humans' Antiquity, showing Homo sapiens sapien being on the planet for over 1 million years, which is interesting because conventional, we were only told that Homo sapiens sapiens 300,000 years old. Geraldine Orozco, she is basically like an ET geneticist. She does a lot of things on DNA and really combines the actual science of DNA and understanding to the transformation and the transfiguration of consciousness and our DNA structure. So I'm sure she's going to be providing like some really good insight on how we're evolving and how that connects to our genetics.
Yeah, she's a former guest of my show, and I
Mhm.
know her personally. She's a great woman, great
She is.
lady.
Yeah, she is. She's also going to be at
Great
our
information.
straight up, yeah. She's going to be at our England conference too, because we're doing Portal to Ascension Glastonbury in August. She'll be speaking there as well. So if any of you guys are out, in Europe and can't make it to this one, come out there. Do you know this? Have you heard of the Stargate experience? These guys?
It sounds vaguely familiar, but I don't know them. No.
Yeah, they have this individual, Pragit, connected with a star being called Alcazar back in the 70s. This being told him how to build these stargates, which are these like amazing looking pyramidal, but not really pyramid, like some next level geometry structures that you go within. And they basically both channel Alcazar and provide insight as they use the Stargate as a transmission beacon of this frequency. So they're going to be there, and they're going to bring their two Stargates. One's like an 8-foot one, one's a 6-foot one. So those are going to be really beautiful structures that we'll have holding down the fort at the conference.
Wow, is that his daughter?
No, they're partners.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
They kind of look like they're related.
I know, right? Well, that's what they say. They said you start looking like whoever you get with. Have you heard about that?
Yeah,
Well, this is how like
definitely.
people start looking like their dogs.
No, their dogs look like them.
Sometimes I really trip out when I see someone who looks so like their dog. I'm like, what?
I
the heck?
know. It
Weird.
is trippy.
Maybe like subconsciously we're attracted to ourselves.
Right?
We just seek it
Oh my
out.
goodness.
It's too funny.
It is.
Like you remind me of somebody I love. Let me say myself.
Speaking of dogs, Lori Spagna, she's a big animal
Yep.
communicator.
Yes. First time I saw her was on YouTube talking to horses, and I didn't even
Oh,
believe
wow.
he could at that point. And when I saw her do it, then I was convinced. Like she's
Yeah.
really, really beautiful soul.
Yeah. She's also a former guest of our show on the
Oh,
Ascension
cool. Yep.
Sessions.
Yeah, and she was at my 2018, 2019 conference. I just had a conversation with her the other day, and her information and what she's receiving has really evolved, and I had to give her props for it. And so I'm excited for what she's going to be bringing there because it's like truly a great transmission. We had a panel a couple weeks ago, and everything she was saying was giving me goosebumps. And I'm
Oh,
not
wow.
easily pleased. I'm not easily
Yeah.
impressed.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen her at the Conscious Life Expo a bunch of
Yeah.
times.
So then we have Jenna Layden, Sheila Seppi, both sponsors. Jenna Layden, Star Family Wisdom, Sheila Seppi, Galactic Alliance. Jenna was the Whole Foods vice president of Whole Foods in Texas, I believe. And then she woke up and now she's doing this full time. And Sheila
Oh, wow.
Seppi was a walk-in. She was she got
Which
an
one is
accident?
she?
She's right here. Sheila
No, she was really
Okay.
ill. She was
Joan's
really
telling me her
very,
story.
very ill, and she woke up one morning and she was a completely different person.
Yes, she was very
Oh,
ill,
wow.
and
She
then
was
she was a
completely
walk-in.
healed of whatever that disease was that she had, and she really didn't recognize her husband, and ultimately changed her entire life, became a healer.
And they wrote the book on
shaman.
walk-ins. Now she's now she's offering support for all all light workers, but definitely a huge support for walk-ins, people that are coming in, because a lot of walk-ins come in and they don't even know what hit them, like literally, like what's going on.
Where does she claim to be from? The walk-in, is she
Is it
Pleiadian
Andromeda?
or
I think it's Andromeda.
Yeah, I think it's Andromeda.
Andromeda? Interesting.
Mhm.
And we have Joan of Angels in the background, everyone.
Yeah.
Say hi, Joan.
She's my good angel. She's my good angel on my right shoulder.
My fellow sister angel.
We
back
gotta
there.
take off the background if we want to see you, Joan. All right, hold on, come close.
Oh, she just came closer. Hi. You can
I
see
am
her.
the voice of the angel. What would you like to ask?
3 wishes only.
It's fun to sit in the back and listen. It's a great interview, love.
All right.
Oh, thank you.
All right, then we have Larissa Stowe. Who have you heard of her music? Larissa Stowe and Shakti Tribe.
I've heard of the Shakti tribe, yes, but I
Yeah,
have
that's her
not
band.
heard. Okay, awesome.
Yeah, so Larissa Soch and Shakti Tribe, and words can't even begin to like express her soul. She's just like
Mm,
radiating. Ever since the Kundalini awakening, it never closed down. That's what it looks like. She's just like
wow.
radiating bliss, and her music and the way she sings, like, oh my God, your heart just like starts like pouring with releasing, melting. So
Oh,
she's
I
gonna
love
be
that.
headlining the after party that starts at 7 p.m. on Sunday. And so she's going to go on for an hour-long set. We're going to start with smudging, breath work, and then we're going to go
Mm.
into the Kirtan band. And then just to go back to the after party, Adam Apollo, who goes by Admiral Apollo when he's DJing, he's going to be doing a DJ set on Sunday night as we close out.
Oh, wow, that sounds like so much fun.
Yeah, yeah. And I'll just say a
I
couple more people here. There's a lot. Yeah, go ahead.
I would definitely, you invited me to come as a guest, and I would say I would definitely want to attend as a guest, not be working,
Yeah, I
because
know, right?
there's
It's
there's so
so
much good content.
Plus, like we've been driving around here last couple of days doing some things,
Yeah.
and we're literally in one of the most beautiful places in San Diego. The marina's there. There's all types of little walking trails. There's like boats. There's just greenery all around. So it's just a beautiful experience all in all. And not only the venue is just like right on the water, but then you get to really just connect and be in a place that's kind of like it feels very peaceful here.
Yeah, sounds amazing.
All right, so just a couple more people. Vox is going to be doing music.
Oh, Tangela.
Yep, Tangela will be there.
Love her.
And then your host, Joan of Angels, Alan Steinfeld, Michelle Anderson.
Oh, is
And
Joan hosting? That's fun.
yeah, we're all MCs.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, Deborah Giusti hosting the Ascension panel. So yeah, that's it, everybody. It's going to be great. So ascensionconference.com, one more time, if you guys want to come and attend. And if you can't attend live, please do try to come live if you are able to. If not, you can sign up for the virtual pass. We're not doing a live stream. We're giving the virtual replays after the event just because there's an internet issue with the venue. So you sign up, you actually get more content from the virtual pass, and you can really get a feel of the experience there. But it's us coming together. When two or more gather, we should always set the intention to do something positive for the planet because our powers really do amplify. So just be a part of the stream, be a part of the conference, and then just harmonize with us as we put this frequency out into the planet so that we can create some real positive change for all of us.
Absolutely. It's going to be a really powerful, wonderful event, I'm sure. And you guys definitely go check out ascensionconference.com and check out his new website, portaltoascension.org. And if you can't make it in person, definitely do the live stream. Like you said, it sounds like a really amazing value. And you can watch it at your own pace, which is also great. You can kind of digest it as you go. So that's wonderful. Well, definitely we'll have to have you on the show again. Thank you for being my pilot guest for the Divine Lunch Hour. And you'll have to keep us updated on all the other stuff that Portal to Ascension is hosting and providing this year. It's going to be amazing. So
yeah, I'd love to. And then maybe next time we can come up with a specific topic, do a deep dive on something.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, it's really great to meet you finally. I mean, we met in Sedona, but it's really great to get to know you more, Neil. I started the Ascension Sessions in 2017, but I didn't even know about your show until a couple years later. So it's really great to, see where there's synergy and harmony and what we can co-create together to raise the collective, because there's, we're all doing great work and there's still a lot of work to do in the world with humanity.
Yes.
So
yeah, I agree.
It's wonderful to make the connection.
Yeah, and then I'll have you, when things settle down a month or two, then I'll have you on my show too. So it can actually be your community. Yeah.
Wonderful. That would be great. Yeah, I'd love that. Okay. Well, wonderful. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day and your busy schedule. I know you guys are still planning and doing lots of work behind the scenes. And, it was wonderful to have you, and we'll see you again real soon.
Yeah, my pleasure, Sherry. Thank you so much. Bye, everybody.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Stay tuned for the next Divine Lunch Hour coming up in a couple of weeks. I'll be giving you a heads up and letting you know who our next guests will be as we get them scheduled. And for now, go and check out the Ascension Sessions. And there's lots of great content over there, as well as on the portal to ascension.org platform. All right, everyone, have a beautiful Friday and weekend. Lots of love and light. And we will see you soon. Bye.